Well, good morning, Cole. Thanks for stopping by and chatting with us here about your experience with Zebra Go. I guess to start, just tell us a little bit about Plumb Zebra and your business and how things are going.
Yeah. Plumb Zebra, we are a small residential plumbing company. We've been in business for about 6 years, and we've been using Zebra Go's services for about the last 2 years. So I'm excited to be able to talk a little bit about it because it's been a big part of our business and part of our life.
Definitely. No, and I appreciate it too, because that's been having Plumb Zebra and the feedback that your whole team has provided has been pretty integral for us too. So what were some of the challenges that you've had with Plumb Zebra and just owning a plumbing business in general?
Well, I think like any business, it always comes with a lot of challenges, and it's never easy to run a business, but getting the support that you need and having a good team is one of the most challenging things. Is just getting good employees that are really working with your business and helping the business to grow. Some of the things that have been good for us, we've always had a full-time CRM or full-time administrative assistant in our business answering phone calls, but it's always been more than what one person can handle. And for us being a small company of having 5 technicians out in the field, we take on enough call volume where it's a little too much to do our administrative tasks with just one person. And with a small company, it's pretty expensive to have 2 CRMs or 3 CRMs or admin assistants to help with communication with clients and follow-ups and things like that. So one of the things that's been helpful for us is having Zebra Go's team kind of integrate with us, getting the support, having additional people to answer phone calls and to reach out to customers. Just our overall customer relations have been great and using Zebra Go.
Awesome. No, thank you. And, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking of kind of the systems that we have set up with our staff to reach out to your customers, because we try as hard as we can to be a part of your team. And, we can't really take credit for it, but Plumb Zebra has over 200 5-star reviews. And part of our process is reaching out to your customers and either finding out how things went so we can send you guys back to fix any issues, or if they respond positively, to ask for that review. So I know that's kind of helped, but
one of the things I really like about that is running a business. Sometimes as an owner, you deal with a lot of more of the negative things. Sometimes, like if there are issues, they always kind of come up to the top. And so sometimes it can feel like I'm sometimes dealing with some of the challenging parts. And one of the cool things with the staff for Zebra Go is when they're following up with their customers. So when we go out and do the work, and then they're reaching out to our customers a couple of days later, and they're asking, hey, how was the services from your technician Cole or your technician Brandon? And we always get really positive feedback, and to see that. And so as an owner that oftentimes is dealing with kind of some of the more high level stuff, and sometimes that's can be some concerned customers occasionally, but it's nice to see all that kind of positive feedback come back, because we're actually asking people every day, hey, how was your experience? And almost all of them are, oh yeah, the technician was great, they did a wonderful job. And then of course they're asking for that review, and that helps us to get so many Google reviews. So it's good for me to kind of get a better feel for the business and how our customers are doing, because we're not just waiting for someone to complain, which is 1 out of 20 or 30 jobs, but we're getting feedback all the time of like, hey, this person did a good job, this person did a good job. And so it makes me as an owner feel like, hey, our team is doing really good.
Yeah, you definitely need that, especially as a small business owner. With that too, there's I know you've tried different programs or softwares, and there's a lot of automation, especially now with AI that's being provided to small businesses. Can you talk a little bit about maybe any experiences your customers have said about getting real people to respond to their messages versus having a, press 1 to confirm your appointment type of message that goes out?
Yeah. That's one of the things that I really like about it is that in the day of AI and everything being automated, I think we've went from everything being really manual, 10, 15 years ago to everything getting really automated. But then it kind of takes that human element out of it. That and being in the service business, having that like really positive customer experience is like really what you're going for. It becomes less about the plumbing work that we do and really becomes more about the customer experience. And so getting the automated messages like follow-ups and stuff from a software, like that's nice. But having an actual text message or a phone call from, hey, this is Catherine from Plumb Zebra, we're calling to let you know our technician's on the way, or this is so-and-so from Plumb Zebra, and they're real people. These aren't just the automated messages going out. And so it kind of like makes us look way better. I mean, we strive to be a really good company that communicates well, but having the extra team to be able to take on all those additional communications, because the automated part of the software is nice because it saves time, but having that just the human part of it, human interaction of actually calling people for the follow-ups and appointment reminders and things like that, it's all that connection, all that customer experience. And one of the Google reviews that we had just recently mentioned about how not any particular person, but they in the review talked about how great the entire team was. Yeah. And that goes from like our actual employees to the Zebra Go team that really like is our team. Like they can't tell the difference between Zebra Go and Plumb Zebra. Like it's to our customers, we're all one.
Correct. No, I appreciate that. And sometimes it'd be nice if we could like piggyback. Okay, that's our Google review too. Right?
Yeah.
What about your team itself and dealing with the Zebra Go staff? How do you feel that communication, or because we ask for a lot of communication between the tiers. So how do you feel that that's been with communicating just informally?
It's good. It's good because our full-time admin, our full-time CRM for Plumb Zebra is our full-time administrative assistant is I have her pretty occupied on other business stuff, more than just the communications. And so when she's responding to emails, collecting payments and things like that, our technicians are out in the field kind of needing help as they're going to answer questions, whether that's for billing or, hey, can you notify this person? Or, hey, I can't get into this appointment. No one is answering the door. I need a lockbox code. All the things like that our technicians like need that information to be able to keep going during the day is help keep us productive. Sometimes our Plumb Zebra staff is just tied up in doing other stuff. So the Zebra Go team, again, integrated with our team, they know how to get talk to our clients even. It's not just reaching out to the tenants or homeowners, but it's also they're communicating actually with our clients. Like we have a contractor that sends us out to a lot of vacant properties. Like they're actually reaching out to them. Hey, our technician needs this lockbox code, or hey, this tenant's not responding. And so it's like having our own additional in-house people because they can help our technicians actually get the work done.
Yeah, I was thinking too, as we're talking here about, it's been really fun for me to watch our team, our Zebra Go staff, really pick up, and we serve, various industries, but to really pick up on like the plumbing lingo and jargon. And I know our putting notes in for jobs is getting even better as we continue to work together. So I've appreciated that, but I think that's fun. And I do see on occasion the interaction between your staff and ours, and there's a lot of positivity there, which is really cool to see. And it's kind of fun. It like blurs the lines a bit between.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that there's hundreds of miles or however distance between them. You know, it's like as if they were just people in our office.
Yeah. Have there been any struggles that you've run into using Zebra Go?
I think that like any newer software or service, there's little minor things that we come up with in the software, but we bring them up. And one thing that I'm always really impressed with, they're not even like issues that prevent us from doing work. They're just like, hey, there's this little thing. Can we improve on this? Or can we make this little, this, if we have this in our business with the software, it might help us, it might help other people. And then that feedback goes to you, and you guys have always been really good about, hey, that's a good idea. Let's implement that and make those changes really quickly. In the past, I have worked with other softwares where we made a suggestion and they're like, yeah, that's kind of a good idea, but really unless we have, 10 or other 20 people complain about this isn't something we're going to change.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to get that kind of real-time support from you guys. We even had you guys make like actual software changes for us within days.
Yeah. No, that part is actually one of my favorite parts is I get a call. Hey, and there's a lot of times where we use the software every day and we use it for our own scheduling, but the things that you run into, you're going to encounter things or come up with ideas that we would never come up with. So being able to not be so strict or so stringent on, oh, no, this is how we make the software, but you have very valuable ideas and being able to implement those and, hey, cool, I got this fixed for you, or I've added this feature. I know that always makes my day even better.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that kind of going back to your original question, I think maybe a better way I can answer this is that, any like issues, whenever you have a group of people working together with team members, employees, there's always little things to getting people to communicate better and things like that. So I think any issues we had, it would be no different than in maybe issues that we would have internally with communicating with employees, and just in a matter of just teaching people how to work together and what the process is like. But then as we work through those minor things, then it's works really well. And I think that's why it's been really successful for us, because it is like having our own employees. Like we've been able to, they're not so rigid in this process. Like you call a call center or something and they're like, reading from a script, and they're like, very like, this is our process, this is the way we do our company, but it's very adaptable into our company. And so initially it starts a little bit like, hey, it's almost like these are new employees. We do a little bit of training. We work together as a team between the technicians in our office, and then they just become a part of our team and they know how we work. And then it's like you can't tell that they're not actually employees of our company. Yeah.
That actually reminds me, because we have a chat between your full-time admin and our staff, and I'm involved with that, and you are as well. And it's fun to see, even every morning, the gifts that are sent. Everybody's sending a good morning.
Good morning. Or
form.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much team focused and based on.
Yeah. The background communication is is really cool to see. Yeah. And it's like they're all kind of like friends.
Yeah.
Work friends.
Yeah. What would you say has been like the biggest change from before using Zebra Go to now?
I think that our communication is really good, and I think we did a pretty good job in the past. But I think that if you can only do one thing like really, really well in your business for it to succeed, I think that communication is probably like one of those things to really focus on. And like I said, even though we're a plumbing company, it really becomes less about the plumbing and more about that customer experience. And I think that our overall customer experience has been very positive from the ability to be able to just communicate really well and have kind of like these extra layers of people that can communicate with our customers, so that it's very rare that, you know, we forget something or someone doesn't get reached out to. Because even if one of the Zebra Go team members asked one of our guys to call someone, or someone has a question, if our guys are busy and they don't immediately call that person, they're reminding us, hey, just a reminder, we need someone to call this customer and communicate with them. Where in the past, that probably would have fallen through the cracks, and we may not have called that customer that day or even the next day until our team went back through and was like, oh shoot, we forgot to call this person back. And so I think that having that additional support from Zebra Go allows us to just, we don't forget anything. And not that we're particularly forgetful, we just, as a service company, we have a lot going on between billing and communicating, and we do a lot of work for property management companies. So we got work orders, we're always processing work orders, which is always kind of administratively heavy, communicating back and forth to property managers. And inevitably, some things are going to slip through the cracks, and it's very, very seldom that something slips through the crack. And usually if it does, it's because it's kind of waiting on one of our technicians, usually because we're out in the field doing work. But as far as the administrative side, it runs very smooth. And that's, so to kind of go back to your question of like, what's one of the biggest improvements is just that overall communication and that customer experience, which the communication leads to that better customer experience. And when we do have someone like a concerned customer that maybe has a concern about pricing or something like that, it also allows us to address it very quickly so that we can take a negative experience and talk to them. And then they're always really impressed that we reached out to them very quickly and professionally, and were able to resolve their concerns. So in a service industry, you're always going to have people that maybe don't understand the services or the expectations, and you're going to have someone that maybe has concerns, and we address them quickly. And so it's not very often that we have upset customers. And so as a result, again, it goes back to just overall customer experience is a lot better.
Yeah, and I like what you said about things falling through the cracks and getting missed, and that's really what we try to do, is fill those cracks, right? Just wherever we can step in for an organization to help. Yeah, because if you miss a call, nowadays customers just go down to the next person on the list, and so being able to capture those calls, stay on top of that communication, and so yeah, no, it's.
And I think that like any running a business, like it's really hard I don't like to micromanage people. And so I really try to like have a culture in my company of let's do what needs to get done, so we're all working together. And usually when you work with like a third party or like just some company that's outside of yours, they're very rigid in their process, and it makes it so that you kind of get this like, hey, well, that's not our job. Like, we're not going to help you with that because that's not what we do. But it's your team makes it so they're like, okay, anything we can do to help, to, like you said, kind of like fill those gaps of, we have this person does this person does this, and Zebra Go just kind of like helps with everything else. And they're not like, they just do what we need to get done. And yeah, it sometimes takes a little bit of just that communication of like, hey, this is how we work, and then working together, but then it just becomes kind of seamless.
Cool. Well, all right, again, I appreciate all your insights and the continued relationship we've had over the years, or just continuing to develop. So thanks for taking the time this morning. And
we're grateful for using the service, and it's been fun getting to talk about it.
Cool. Thanks. Thank you.